Welcome back. The stock on our radar is JBM Auto. Lower in today's trading session, but do not get fooled by today's move on the stock, which is about a 1% downtick. It's up 24% in just the last few trading sessions. But if you take a look at the last 7 trading sessions, the stock's actually surged about 32%. So what exactly is happening with JBM Auto as well as the latest products? We have with us Mr. Nishant Arya, who's the executive director of the company, joining us on the phone line. Nishant, first up, if you could, tell us, because the street would want to know, what exactly is the benefit of the tax break that the government announced? What is your effective tax rate? And with this tax break, how much can your EPS increase by?
No, so we've been paying the tax in the range of 30 to 35%. We are currently working out which particular framework of tax we'll adopt based on our short-term and long-term strategy, because we are investing a lot in R&D in the upcoming years. At the same time, we are also seeing that we are expanding our capacity. So we are still working, but definitely the tax stops which the government has given and the reduction in the tax rate will be benefiting the organization.
Okay.
But in next few days, we'll reach to the right realistic figures, what is in it for us exactly.
Okay, this expansion of capacity seems fairly interesting, Nishant, because once you start investing in a manufacturing capacity from October, the tax that you'll have to pay would be 17% for the new facility. So that's even better for you. So have you earmarked the amount that you will be investing, and by when?
Yeah, so we have already committed an investment of about 500 crores for our EV business, where a part of it has been invested for the electric buses. We are focusing on the battery technology and the charging technology. So some of the investment has already gone in, but majority of the investment will be going in the next couple of years. So we will be definitely benefiting there when we are setting up our R&D centers and manufacturing facilities for these products.
Okay, Nishant, you just mentioned electric buses, and earlier this week your stock was up close to around 20%. I don't know whether it's coincidentally, but on that day itself, Mr. Nitin Gadkari had said that all buses in India are likely to be electric in the next 2 years. I don't know whether we can attribute the stock move to this statement that came in from Mr. Nitin Gadkari, but give us some brief numbers. What is your total electric bus capacity that you have currently, and what are the orders in hand? If I'm not mistaken, you haven't sold any electric buses in the last year, but this year you were supposed to sell a few, right?
Yeah, so we got orders for electric buses last year, which we have delivered now. So we have delivered in Maharashtra our buses in the first half of this financial year, and now, since in the FAME 2 policy, the government has come out with the largest allocation for electric buses, which is about 3,500 crores of allocation in terms of subsidy. And recently, they have come out with a requirement of about 5,500 buses, which will be tendered out in this financial year. And the vehicles will start getting delivered in the next financial year, because in a bus, you have a lead time of 6 to 12 months, depending from city to city, depending on the specifications. So that will be benefiting our organization in a very substantial way. And such kind of moves which the government is making with a clear roadmap of electric mobility will definitely support the government.
Nishant, you said that 2,000 buses is your total capacity, right?
Correct.
Okay, and till now, how many buses have you delivered? And the second part is, out of this 5,500 buses that are likely, these orders are likely to come up, how many do you think you can garner from these 5,500?
So we have already delivered 30 electric buses, and we have delivered close to 300 CNG buses, because we produce CNG and electric both. Yeah, and in terms of the 5,500 buses, actually, because still the different state transport undertaking and municipal corporations are still in the process of making their DPRs, because the government had announced this policy with the utmost level of clarity in the last 2 months only. So by the end of this year, it will be clear that what kind of buses would they be buying, and we would be looking forward to gaining a substantial market share out of this.
So from 30 electric buses, how much do you expect it to be by the end of this year and by the end of next year? And this 300 CNG buses, what's your order book? How much do you expect to deliver by the end of this year and by the end of next year?
So 300 CNG buses we have already delivered. The 30 electric buses also we have already delivered. In terms of this, now we are seeing that definitely we'll be looking at about 500 to 1000 CNG buses.
Okay.
And in terms of electric also, I think once the different states are firming up their plans based on their project reports, we would be looking at a substantial market share. I wouldn't be able to quantify it at this point in time because that clarity is not available to us, and in many cases not to the states also. And certain states in India are also going for elections. So there is no movement on this front. So the entire picture would be clear only by the end of this calendar year, and then we would be able to have a clear-cut understanding that what we will be targeting at.
The CNG buses that you're talking about targeted 500 to 1000, that is for FY21?
Partially we will be delivering in FY20.
Okay.
And rest would be delivered in the H1 of FY21.
So over the next 18 months, you would say?
Next 12 months from today, yeah.
Okay. And we understand that 22.5% of your revenue is coming from Ford, where we saw a decline of 31% in sales. Have they reduced orders from you, delayed payments? Is there a problem that you're facing from your existing customers?
In the auto component business which you are referring to, definitely the market is in a challenging condition because the sales are dropping for many customers. But definitely at this time, what we have tried to do is that most of our facilities, we are not depending on one single customer. So it's multi-customer, multi-product facility, so that we are able to negate the impact of any such customer-specific volume drops. And here what we have tried to do is that we are also exporting to Ford and to few other customers which has similar level of quality and product requirements.
Right.
So that's why we have been able to reduce the impact on our organization.
Okay.
And at the same time, you will see that the tooling division, which has a much higher EBITDA margin, which is close to 25 to 30% EBITDA margin, that business has been growing substantially in JBM Auto, which is contributing more to the bottom line than to the top line.
Okay, all right. Okay, Nishant, thanks so much for joining in. It seems that the street likes what you're saying. The stock has rallied in this week itself, and going by the guidance of in terms of number of bus sales, in terms of what the management is telling us, in terms of the outlook, it appears the street likes it. Remember, the stock has already seen a very big rally in this week itself. We'll slip in a short break. You come back, we'll get chatting with the management of Sterlite Technologies. Remember, they've done an acquisition just yesterday. Stay with us.